morning everyone, my name is Arslan and you are watching Proper Pariksha, the place where we strive for academic excellence in simple and comprehensive manner. So today we will be starting the final video of class 6 mathematics chapter 7, quite an oxymoron, starting the final video of class 6 mathematics chapter 7. Okay, so here the summary will be discussed and the topics which we have discussed till now so that we can understand if everything has been discussed as per NCERT or if anything is remaining. Okay, so question or point number one, a fraction is defined in the first point that it is a number representing part of a whole. Whole may be described as a single object or group of objects. This is the first line and the first definition and the first video of class 6 mathematics chapter 7. Part B says that when expressing a situation of counting parts to write a fraction, it must be ensured that odd parts are equal. That was also mentioned that the parts should either be similar or equal to each other. That is, it should be similar or equal in terms of the parameter that is taken into consideration. So that is, if you are talking about 1 liter, then that means you have to talk about every milliliter that is inside of it. If you are talking about a pizza, all the slices must be. If you are talking about a polygon, either they should be similar or polygon, that is square, triangle, rectangle, pentagon, hexagon, etc. So if you are talking about them, either you will be talking about them in terms of congruency or similarity, then the shape that it is divided into must be equal to each other, or if you are talking in terms of area, for example, I have a land that is rectangular, or it may be pentagon, it may be triangle, whatever the shape the man purchases. So I have a land and I divided the land into 5 parts, each part comprising of 0.25 hectares or 0.2 hectares. So that is, I have divided my land into 5 parts, each part is 0.2 hectares, so total will be 1 hectare and each part will be 0.2 irrespective of the shape of it. So here the area of the land is in consideration and that should be same for all of the parts. So this has also been clearly explained previously. Point number two, in 5 upon 7, 5 is the numerator and 7 is the denominator. We have also understood what is a numerator and denominator. Numerator is the number which identifies or tells us about the number of parts that are taken into consideration, whereas denominator is the total number of parts in which the whole is divided into. Point number three, fractions can be shown on a number line. Every fraction has a point associated with it in a number line. We have learned about this. We have learned how to represent fractions on the number line. We have also learned that if there are two numbers, let us say 0 and 1, how many fractions can there be between them? There can be infinite number of fractions, as it can be 0 upon 2, it will be 0 upon 2, or it can be 0 upon as 0 and 1 can be divided into two parts, it can be divided into three parts. If it is divided into three parts, it will be 0 upon 3, 1 upon 3, 2 upon 3 and 3 upon 3. That will finally be 1. So there will be two fractions in between them. If there are three parts divided, then there will be two fractions between 0 and 1. If we have divided into 4, then that will be 0 upon 4, 1 upon 4, 2 upon 4, 3 upon 4 and 4 upon 4. That will mean that there are three parts. So if we have divided the number line between any two numbers such as 0 and 1, if we have divided it into four parts, then there will be three fractions between them. Okay, and we can divide the area or the line between any two numbers into infinite number of parts. So infinite number of fractions will be there, because infinity minus 1, that is over here you can see 4 will give 3, 3 will give 2, so 4 minus 3, infinity minus 1 is also infinity, because infinity is infinity. We will learn about infinity in higher classes, but just for an understanding that what is infinity and some things related to it we'll keep discussing. So infinity minus 1 is also infinity. That is why number of fractions infinity. Point number 4, in a proper fraction What is a proper fraction? We have discussed that proper fraction is a fraction in which the number of parts taken into consideration are less than the number of parts that the total has been divided into. That is, the numerator is always less than the denominator. Okay. Then we have learned what is an improper fraction. Improper fraction is a fraction in which the numerator is always greater than the denominator. That is, the number of parts in question are more than the number of parts in which it has been divided into. That is, one or more number of wholes are under consideration. That is, for example, I have a pizza. I'll just explain it to you like very easily again. Why is it not getting? Okay, we have reached the end of the page. That is why. So I'll just do one thing. I'll add another page over here so that I can make sure that you are able to see me. Just a moment. Okay, we have done that. Coming back up. Okay, so I'll just let you know that, for example, if I say that I have a pizza, okay, I have pizzas, let us say like that, I have pizzas and I have 4 upon 3 of the slices. So what does that mean? That means that I have one whole pizza and one more slice of a pizza that is divided into 3 parts. So that means that more than one whole, that is pizza, are under consideration. Okay, now improper fraction can be converted into mixed fraction. How do we do that? You just need to divide the numerator with the denominator, and whatever the quotient is, that will be the whole, and whatever the remainder is, that will be the remainder, that will be the numerator. From improper fraction to the from the mixed fraction to the improper fraction, how do we do that? We just multiply the denominator with the whole and add whatever we have with the numerator. Coming to point 5. Each proper or improper fraction has many equivalent fractions. That is, any type of fraction has number of equivalent fractions. So let us say I have a fraction that is 2 by 3. So 2 by 3 can also be written as 4 by 6, can also be written as 8 by 12, can also be written as 16 by 24, and so on. Okay. Similarly, if I have 3 by 2, this can be written as 6 upon 4, this can be written as 12 upon 8, and so on. Therefore, each improper fraction has many or infinite number of equivalent fractions. However, all the equivalent fractions have only one simplest form, that is, form that cannot be simplified further. To find an equivalent fraction, the process is given. We have to multiply or divide both numerator and denominator of the given fraction by the same number. For example, if I want to have the equivalent fraction of 2 by 3, then obviously I'll have to multiply. But if I want to have an equivalent fraction of 8 by 12, I can either multiply or I can either divide, depending upon what I want to have. I want to have a smaller equivalent fraction or a bigger equivalent. Point number 6 says that a fraction is said to be simplest or lowest form if its numerator and denominator have no common factor except 1. As I told you earlier, that we also went through many fractions in our exercises. So let us say one of the previous answers, like 23 upon 20. Can it be further simplified? No, because 23 has the only factors 1 and 23, because 23 is a prime number, and 20 has fractions 1, 2, 4, 5, and 20. Both of them have nothing in common. That is why this is the simplest form. We can have bigger fractions or bigger equivalent fractions than this, like 46 upon 40, but we cannot make it much more simpler than it is already. Okay, so with this we summarize the chapter 7 of class 6 mathematics, and in the next video we'll be starting class 6 mathematics chapter 8. So please go through all the videos, make notes, keep the additional concepts handy while making notes. Also write them also. Practice all the questions, practice all the unsolved examples, because we are also solving them for you. That will be beneficial. Maths is all about practice. Wish you the best of luck till the next time we meet.